It's the Gear Tester here, and in this video I'm going to go about describing how I reload a revolver. One thing I want to make clear here at the beginning of this video is that this is how I reload revolvers. If you reload revolvers differently, that's fine. These are techniques and tips that I've picked up over many years of shooting revolvers. I'm not the best revolver shooter. I certainly don't reload them as quickly as a number of people do. Okay, so there's plenty of videos of people being super fast, but these are techniques and tricks that I have found, that I've watched other people's videos and learned, or had people teach me in person, and I enjoy revolvers. I think there's something interesting about revolvers. They are limited in terms of capacity, and they're much more difficult to reload, and that challenge is interesting and exciting to me, and so I invite you to watch this video and critically evaluate how I go about reloading a revolver. When it comes to reloading little snubby revolvers, you need to be more intentional than with larger revolvers, and there's a couple reasons for that, and we'll discuss those here in just a second. One thing before you start trying to reload your revolver is you need to have set yourself up for success. With semi-automatic handguns, we tend to, if you're right-handed, we tend to use our left hand to bring in a fresh magazine. So we're dropping the mag here, we're bringing a fresh magazine up, rack the slide, or if the slide is in lock back, as you do that, there you go. You drive it home with the slide release. Either one of those options are viable. I choose to run the slide because I think that's the best way of doing it. But the point is your reloads are in your left hand, so it makes sense to have your reloads on the left-hand side of your body with a semi-automatic handgun if you're right-handed. Obviously, it would be reversed if you're left-handed. So the gun runs empty, drop the mag, new mag in, rack the slide, and I'm back in the fight. Revolvers are different. You're going to need to set up your reload so that they are, if you're right-handed, so that they are on your right-hand side. I'm going to show you why that is here. So, got already fired brass here in this revolver to simulate that I have just finished firing, and now I have a bunch of empty brass in the gun. So, get multiple shots on target, or I miss, and now it comes time for a reload. Click. The gun has just let me know I probably don't have any more rounds in it. What I'm going to do is I'm holding the gun in my right hand. I'm going to transition the gun into my left hand, and I'm going to push this little latch forward with a J-frame snubby from Smith & Wesson. There's other revolvers maybe you have to push down or do different things. But in this case, because this is a snubby revolver from Smith & Wesson's cylinder release button pushes forward. So I'm going to push that forward as I'm transferring the revolver into my left hand. I'm going to use these two fingers to push the cylinder open, and I'm going to leave my fingers there, keeping the cylinder open. If you try and do this, the cylinder can go back in, pop around, move around. It's going to be hard to reload. So the gun goes click. I'm going to start to transfer the gun into my left hand. I'm going to push down on the cylinder release. I'm going to pop the cylinder out with these two fingers there, and I'm going to make sure to keep them pressed against the frame of the gun right here. This is the little forcing cone, and it gets hot if you've been shooting a lot. So if you run your hands up there, you might drop your gun because it's going to hurt you. It's going to burn you. So pop it open with these two fingers, keep them against the frame of the gun, the back of the frame of the gun, and now I'm going to invert the revolver. Some of the rounds may fall out. You can see some of these rounds, when you discharge them, they fire form to the cylinder, so you're going to need to kick them out. Okay, so some of them have fallen out, some of them won't. Then I bring my right hand up and I hit this little rod there twice. Now you could, I guess, do it with your thumb there, but I choose to use my palm like this, and I do it twice because these snubby revolvers have a very short little ejection rod. And what that means is they don't eject the casing all the way out. This is 38 Special. That rod limits how far I can kick them out. So they don't just eject straight out of the gun. Whereas with larger revolvers, like my Smith & Wesson 686P, it has a significantly longer ejection rod, so I can just go whoop, and the rounds are out. Because in this case, you can see it actually lifts them all the way out. It gets them to the end of the brass and can kick them out. With the snubbies, that's not the case, so you have to be more intentional. So as just a rule of thumb, I just always open the latch, transfer the gun to my left hand, kick the cylinder open, come up here, and I do this twice, okay? The reason I choose to hit this ejection rod twice okay, is because I'm hoping that if a round has gotten stuck in the chamber, particularly with the snubby revolvers, that gravity and the vibration of my hand hitting the rod and the firearm 2 or 3 times will knock loose any rounds. So as you use your gun, you'll know, does it basically always 2 hits get it, or does doing it 3 times mean that you can make sure that the gun is more reliable and gets the empty casings out of the gun consistently? Left hand, kick the cylinder open, come up here, and I do this twice, okay? So I've inverted the gun down so the rounds can fall out. Now I tip the gun barrel downward, and in this case I'm going to be using a speed loader. I take the speed loader, I insert it into the cylinder, and then I pull forward or twist or push forward depending on the kind of speed loader you have. That kicks itself off to the side, and now I'm ready to fire the firearm again. So that's how I use the little speed loaders, right? And you're going to need to know precisely, depend on the make and model and the manufacturer, how your speed loaders operate. I tend to not trust speed loaders that much because they hold the rounds secure, but then if you just twist this, they fall right out. And there's a reason why police officers who carried speed loaders carried back in the 60s and 70s, why they carried them in pouches that protected them, little leather pouches that covered them so that you couldn't accidentally hit that knob. For modern individuals who are concealed carrying, what I fear is that, and I've had this happen to myself, is you're carrying these in your pocket, you stick your hand in your pocket, maybe you play with them, and boop, and all of a sudden you've just got loose rounds in your pocket. So they are faster. Undoubtedly, speed loaders are faster. This revolver actually is cut to allow clips that go in that hold the rounds in and put all 5 rounds in and then come out with them. But those are very chintzy and I find break easily, so I haven't used those. My preference is to reload my revolvers with this speed strip or quick strip. There's a couple different companies that make these. Just a little rubber strip that holds the rounds. And so I would, again, you're going to need to have this available to your right hand. It shouldn't be in your left hand pocket. You won't be able to get it out. So you fire your revolver, last couple shots in your revolver, you get a click. We're going to push the cylinder latch forward. We're going to get that cylinder out of the gun, keep our fingers against the back frame of the revolver so we don't burn ourselves. Bring our right hand up once, twice. Now tip the gun barrel down. And now we're going to keep the cylinder open with either my thumb or those fingers. And I'm going to insert rounds, and then I'm going to twirl the cylinder so that it makes my job easier. Twirl the cylinder, make my job easier, and then I am up and ready to fight. One thing you need to be aware of is if you hit this at an angle or you get a little too vigorous with it, you can bend this rod. So this is a delicate piece of equipment that is maybe particularly true with these ones that are longer. Maybe that's one negative, is it would be easy to have my hand come in sideways and just bend that, and now your gun is not going to lock up. It's not going to work. Okay, that would be a problem. So you need to be intentional and to some degree gentle as you come to get these rounds out of the gun. That's why I use my open palm. That's why some people prefer to use their thumb like this. They feel that it's less violent. With these shorter rods on the snub nose revolvers, I think you're actually less likely to bend them, but you still need to be careful. So I come up and over with the palm of my hand and allow the barrel of the gun to kind of guide my hand down once, twice, maybe 3 times. Now turn the gun with barrel down and start to work on it, getting it reloaded. So that's how I use both quick strips and speed loaders. Using my keen powers of observation, I can deduce that if you like revolvers, if you're interested in revolvers, you probably also are interested in lever action rifles. And I've produced 3 videos in the last couple months on the Marlin 336 Dark, which is Marlin's most recent, most modern interpretation of their lever action rifle chambered in 30-30. I've also got videos and reviews up on this Marlin 336Y, which is a youth version of their Marlin lever action rifle. It too is chambered in 30-30. I really enjoy shooting both these lever action rifles. I like the manual of arms. I like that this is older technology. For the same reason that I like revolvers, I like lever action rifles. Older technology that is more challenging to shoot, to reload, and to operate. If you like this video, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. I find myself wondering if there are any specific revolvers or rifles you would like to see me review in the future. Please leave a comment down below. This information helps me know where to allocate my time, my energy, and my resources. I've also found myself wondering what your favorite revolver calibers are. Maybe 44 Magnum, 45 Long Colt, 357 Magnum, 38 Special. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite revolver caliber is. Thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. This is the Gear Tester signing off.